Hello, my name's Carx82 and welcome back to our GregTech New Horizons Season 2. I do want to apologize. I have got a bit of a croaky throat right now, so my voice sounds a bit different. But yeah, we'll give this a go. Hopefully I won't be maybe not talking as much as I usually do. But I have gone ahead and sort of looked at the wiki, the GregTech New Horizons wiki, and they do have some information about the fluid crafting. And from what I can gather is that we need to add this thing. I don't even know how you say it. It's easy to craft up, just a couple storage buses and this. Apparently, when this is connected to the A system, this converts the stuff that is in the cells with the crafting. If we remember our crafting, it didn't recognize the fluids. So apparently this will do that. There's no GUI or anything on it. There's no right click. I don't know if it is actually attached. Does it take a channel? I don't know. We'll see. Now I've switched out I'm just trying microprocessors at this point, just so I can get this to work. So I've gone ahead and we have this recipe that uses molten soldering alloy. And I have actually replaced this with a dual one. I actually don't know if you actually need the dual one to place fluid in anything. I really don't. I'm not sure. But I went ahead and do that to see. So, in theory, now that I placed that Cinco whatever thing down, this should recognize. Yes, alright. So it does recognize the fluid that is in the A system. That wasn't happening when that wasn't placed down. See, now it's saying it needs to craft it up. Alright, so that is good to know. I guess we just place it down somewhere. Oh, it does use a channel. Yep, it does use a channel. So, good to know. I didn't even think about checking how many channels I had right there. Okay, so that's down, and will this work? Let me pull the fluid out and try this. Now, am I going to do this with every single thing? I don't know. I don't think that worked, did it? Wait, did that work that quick? I didn't even see it turn on. Is that recipe that quick? I didn't even realize. Plastic board. Yeah, I guess it is that quick. I didn't even realize. Okay, so that actually is, yeah. That means we can actually get rid of this. And we can get rid of the fluid extractor that I'm putting all that stuff in. And now this one. So I can actually do that, and we can break this down. Now, we start getting into how are we going to put this stuff in, say, a multi-block, or even crazier, the assembly line. Which, by the way, I don't know if I mentioned, I have 15 of these now. So, yep, I crafted up 3 more. And I got those done. Also, I know it's probably because these have some data on them. It's kind of annoying when they don't stack, though. Alright, so that is that at least. Now, fluid packet decoder, not entirely sure what this does. If we mouse over this in a recipe, it says use the packet decoder to convert it back into a fluid. I don't know what that means. Is this something we just placed? I mean, it has like a little that in it. I don't know. I'll have to explore more of the mod. Do that. Ingredient buffer, I'm assuming this is what we're going to be using for putting stuff in here. Like we'll put the interface, and I also got to figure out if if I need a dual interface to input, or is that just if I want to output a fluid into it as well. You know what, let's do this really quick. I have an interface right here. We'll try this and see if it actually works with just a regular interface, because I do need to know this. All right, we're going to be doing this probably from anything that is like an item into a fluid in the recipe. We'll probably do it this way. Now, if this was just oxygen, I'm not about to start programming. Okay, take, you know, these items plus 1 bucket of oxygen. No, I'll just like put oxygen in the thing. But for stuff like this, where it needs part of an ingot or all our insane amount of assembly recipes, then maybe we'll do that. So, all right. That's just gonna take, I think it takes like 15 seconds. That's kind of, it's not the super fast recipe. I have actually underneath, I knew this was a bit of an issue coming up, because I only have 4 amps of IV in this part, and I have been upgrading these. So when everything turns on, for example, these, the assembler casings, that is a pretty complicated recipe. No, I'm out of indium. Holy cow. I got to deal with that. I didn't realize we were that low. I have a whole bunch of galena. I just haven't turned the thing on yet. I don't know why I don't have it on. So what I've done is actually just throw a battery buffer with 2 batteries in there. I had Lapatronics are easy to make now. Just to create a bit of a buffer, because both these machines very, very rarely wouldn't get enough power and they would turn off and we would like lose a wafer. Every once in a while, it was quite rare. Really when everything turned on at once, we would have an issue. But all right, so that is that. Also, I guess I could do that. Okay, so the bytes don't really understand. There's obviously some crazy figuring out with the bytes, but 1 ingot's worth was 8 bytes, and now 16 buckets worth is only 16 bytes, so I don't know. Wow, I totally forgot what was happening. Okay, did that work? Did the microprocessor... No. Okay, so that looks like it does indeed... Interesting. That is not how I thought that would work. So is this, that's what we need to... Is that what goes in the decoder thing? Alright, that's interesting. Alright, well that is good to know. You do need the dual interface to craft with fluids. Not surprising, but I needed to find out. So... Decoder. There we go. So I'm assuming that put it back. I'm sure it's doing something like turning it into an item. Code-wise, that is what is happening, but I don't know. Okay, cool. So the next thing I need to test out before I'm not going to change all of them quite yet. The recipes. I'm gonna go through them all and change them. The next thing is a buffer for if I want to send things in 2 places. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. So we do have an interface. If I want to, I think we do this. It puts the items in here and it puts the fluids in there. I'm assuming this has worked. I can't remember. There was another AE crafting one. Wasn't it like volumetric flask or something like that it was? So why don't we... Let's do a little testing here. Hopefully this is informative to people. Maybe it's really boring watching me test this stuff and not progressing, but I think it's... I really enjoy testing stuff like this. So if I do like... I wanted to do... It's hard to put that in there. Actually, let's do... You know what? We're gonna borrow this thing again. No! I keep doing that when I mean to go in here. I should just have one in the floor. What I was planning on doing is this. Also, let's cancel that. And put this stuff back in the A system. If we put this in here... It is connected, right? I'm pretty sure we have enough room. Yeah. So I'm assuming that's going to put the items in there and the fluid in there. If this is how I'm guessing. I feel like that would kind of make sense, right? Yes. All right. Whoa, what is that purple thing? That's just a bit of a visual. All right. Didn't think that would... I thought that fluid would have maybe gone in there. Didn't think it would be like considered... Like, I'm assuming that's considered an item. So, what that probably tells me is... I feel like that might not go in a hatch. I wanted to... Obviously, we would do it like this. Right, that does attach. I feel like that would be... Maybe not... That's not how I thought that would work. If I put a pump on that... obviously, we can do fluid conduits, all sorts of stuff. I'm literally just trying with what we have here. Yeah, see, that is not treating that like a fluid. Okay, so... like the decoder? Alright, that I'm gonna have to... Let me look that up. Let me, because I really would like to do that with... the main one is this right here. This is kind of what I want to get rid of. We have this. We have vanadium gallium that needs to be melted down. Well, I want to just make a recipe and have that go in there. And plus, for future, the assembly line. Okay, I realized I had the wrong interface. So that's probably why it outputted as an item. So let's try that. And I've gone ahead and set up a fluid and an item. I know I can do conduits, and we probably will. I just kind of wanted to see if it works with GregTech pipes, which I don't see why it wouldn't, but okay. Should we try this and see if it does? Obviously, it's being pulled out is it's limited by the conveyor, but there we go. And there we go. All right, cool. So yeah, definitely dual interface is the way to go. Although I did see something, and I'm not really going to bother with these because I don't think we need to, but I did see something about fluid interfaces may also work similarly to this. I just don't have I'm not going to make a new recipe for that if the dual interface works the same way. But all right, so that is how we would do that. I mean, that would basically all we're doing is, one, we're getting rid of the chest, although the chest is kind of that's basically the chest. It just happens to hold fluids as well. And we would have one fluid extractor basically as fast as we can. We could just keep upgrading the fluid extractor. So we just have one of those, and then we could add multiple recipes to that. So I guess we could... I'm just thinking, I'm like, is this... I can't really get it more... like, more compact, could I? Okay, I've gone ahead and replaced that little setup, and yeah, basically this is the chest that we had. It's just the fluid and the chest go in the same block, so it's a little bit neater and tidier. You can kind of see there is a conveyor on the input bus pulling in, and then obviously I have just used a pump pulling out. I know I could do conduits and stuff, but I don't know. I really like GregTech pipes. I think they're fun. We could even do that if we want. Not necessarily, because this input hatch does not output into the thing. So yeah, I've gone ahead and set that up. Now, I'm thinking a lot of these things are going to be done the same way. I don't think I'm going to do this yet, though. I do want to, like, overhaul all my assembly machine recipes. We got some here, and then we got a whole bunch on here, and these, not all of these need to be here. They're basically just on the fastest one possible, but now I've upgraded some of the stuff over there, and yeah, it's all kind of all over the place. We have 3 machines that are doing assembly things at this point, but I think we are going to replace that with a multi-block, and mentioned a couple times about this precise auto assembler. So I believe this is a new multi-block. It does have its own recipes as well. Kind of late game, it looks like. Like, that superconducting coils. Like, this is pretty late game. Compact fusion coils, no idea. All sorts of crazy stuff. But apparently it also does normal assembler recipes. But this recipe is kind of crazy. Never seen that before. Never seen that metal before. Never seen that metal before. Never seen aluminum. Well, I have seen aluminum. But I think we are at this point. But it's going to take me a little while to get that crafted up. In the meantime, we are going to continue working on our machine assembly line. I just need to do this. Also, you can move these around now, which is kind of cool now that I'm used to it. At first, I was like, oh, I don't like how these are moving around. But, yeah, we got that. Unfortunately, those ore dictionary ones just don't seem to want to work. So you do have to put actual recipes in there. Oh, also, this fluid pattern encoder, I think it's just a block version of this. I think. I don't see any use for this outside of just making patterns, so I think this is actually redundant. Maybe we'll throw that up somewhere. But, yeah, I just wanted to point that out. So, did I just do... Yes. Alright, so we'll get this crafted up. I swear this is like... This was easier than I remember it being. I do need a bunch of things. I've been looking at... Oh, there's the precise assembler. That's cool. Apparently it's locked behind IV energy hatch. How have I not... How have I not got the IV energy hatch? I've held it. How many times? Where is it? Oh, it's right there. Yeah, it's because it's locked behind this. Alright, I could probably just craft those up to hold them in my inventory. I probably should have done that earlier, but yeah, I do want to unlock this stuff. Thankfully, we don't have to do this. Now, these do require helium, and I have been using these in the energy hatches, obviously. I've just never completed this quest. Thankfully, you do get 12 from this. So that is 12 energy hatches. But, yeah, an assembler recipe with helium. So that is a bit annoying. But, alright, so I guess we'll continue working on this. And I think, I mean, even this recipe doesn't even look that... it doesn't look that bad. Really, these advanced SMDs, yeah, get those if you are... When you're crafting up the assembly line. It just lowers the amount of resources needed by lots and lots. Okay, there is the assembly line controller. I have gone ahead and switched out all the, at least the circuit recipes. They are now for all the fluid variant, and we'll just work through the soldering alloy that we have in the A system. That'll last us for a little while. But I also realized you don't actually need a fluid storage cell if you're gonna use the entire amount. So if, for example, the circuit requires 144, you don't actually need the fluid cell. It'll just convert the 1 ingot to that, and then it works. I'm assuming, though, if you only need 72, you are going to need a fluid cell for that. But I don't really plan on storing a bunch of fluids in the AA system. We will obviously do some types, but I am really enjoying all my crazy tanks, and it's so silly that I kind of love it. So most of that stuff doesn't need to be in the A system, and I'm sure it would make things much easier if we did just put them in the A system, but yeah, we'll see as we go. Alright, so we got the superconducting IV wires. That'll last us for a long time. Now, as you can see, this actually does hold 12 amps with no loss. So, I mean, they are like really good cables. But it's the question is, do you want to be having to craft up a pump for every 12 cables when you're, you know, running hundreds of cables at a time? They just do hold a whole bunch of amps. Like, if you look at the biggest one, that holds 64 amps. Like, that is pretty crazy. I actually... Oh, this one. Oh my goodness. There we go. 192. Yeah, I was like, the other one was the base. There is the 16. That's 192 amps of power in those, so that is pretty hilarious. Still haven't got around to doing all those. Now that I have a steady supply of tungsten, maybe we will. But I have a lot of them. So that is like 32 motors. That is a It's actually not that bad. I thought that was going to be more. I felt like that was going to be more. It does use a lot of those, though. We are just going through that, and we don't have a good supply of those ingots, so maybe I shouldn't, yeah, not quite yet. Okay, so that opened that up. IV Energy Edge. I would have to... Do I have one on me? No. I would have to go break something. That is still on 2 amps. I don't really need to... Ah, now that's hidden behind that. Okay. Well, I'll do... We'll, Oh, I know. There's one... No, I don't want to break that, because the clean room will be broken. Alright, I gotta just go hold a IV Energy Hatch. For that. And that will open up... We're basically just trying to open this up, which is not even really what we're doing right now. But welcome to Minecraft. Okay, so we need solid steel machine casings, not a problem. Input buses, I actually don't think I have done ULV input buses. Don't think I have a recipe for that. Nope. I've never automated that one. So, gonna have to automate that. Gonna have to automate that. I just don't use these a lot, so I've never felt the need to automate them. Input hatches, output buttons, not a problem. Reinforced glass. Alright. These are going to take a little while. But they shouldn't be too bad. Where is it? There it is. Is that a cheaper recipe? No, it is. It's just done in an assembler. And you know what? I actually... This one is actually does have a 3 on it. For my... It's a 3 for the coils that we use a lot of. Okay, so I guess we're gonna get everything built for this. Are we gonna... I didn't realize we were gonna get this built today, and that's easy. We just need to do recipes for that, yeah. Alright, well, I guess we'll come back and put together the assembly line. Where the heck am I going to put this thing? Okay, so kind of miscalculated how long these were actually going to take. I needed quite a lot of tungsten for 22 robot arms. But there we go. Wasn't too bad with 4 blast furnaces going. But I did AFK for a little bit. So yeah, I've started putting together the assembly line. Now, obviously, we're not going to get it like up and running this episode, but this is a pretty big step in the progression. I think this is where most people kind of don't make it past the assembly line, but I'm looking forward to it with the new AE stuff. Yeah, so I started getting this going. If you don't know, the input buses go along the bottom, and this can be 16 layers, or 16 slices, if you want to consider this a slice. As we can see with this, it only does the 2 kind of slices, because you can do... I don't know, like, what is the minimum? Well, obviously the minimum would be the recipes, but I don't know if it would form with just 2 slices. So you do the input buses, and then the very last one is the output bus. Unless there is 16 inputs, then I guess the output bus can go on the side. I don't remember where I read that. I think I read that in here somewhere. But yeah, so there's that. We got our fluid input hatches here, and then the rest of that bottom layer is solid steel machine casings. And these assembly line casings go down the middle, like that. Then the reinforced glass goes on outside like that. Then we get the... What do we get? The assembler machine casings? Is that what we do next? I think so. there is those, and then we get great machine casings on that side. Now eventually we will have, this can be replaced with data hatches, but that is for more advanced things. Now, I don't know where I'm gonna be feeding this power. We'll say like right in the middle. I really wish the energy could go in the bottom, but that is not a thing, unfortunately. Unless it's been changed. I'm gonna really quickly see if that would actually have it form. Just because having the cable, especially how yeah, it's not gonna work. Since I color the cables, it makes it very, very obvious when I have bright pink cables up the side, which I try to avoid. But, alright, so there we go, and then, like, the power would up here. But, yeah, so it's, like, so obvious. But there we go. It is indeed formed. We just need to do our maintenance, if I can remember where I put it. There I did, right in front. And there we go. There is our assembly machine. Now, I'm going to have to, I need to tear all this down. This is my radon production. So we're going to redo this. Obviously, this is probably going to go over in my chemistry area, like all my other stuff. And, yeah, we will look into getting the assembler running, and probably the first thing that we're going to be doing is the electric motor. That's always kind of like the first thing you have to craft up the next tier. Also, I did see SMD inductor as opposed to those coils, these small coils which are used in all the different circuits, but there is no recipe for that, unfortunately. I thought maybe there would be an easier way to make those. Just thought I would point that out. All right, so there we go. There is that. We will get the assembler up and running next episode, and we will start working towards this thing. But boy, is this expensive, according to the quest. But anyway, that's gonna be it for today. So thanks for watching. Have a good one.